So now we begin with the fourth Slok and the fourth Ashtapadi, the fourth Slok and the fourth canto octet. Slok Nirgunyar Yanya So Prab Sada Samal Jin Kya Tis Chiti Rakh Nanak Nibhi Nal. Nirgunyar Yanya So Prab Sada Samal. Guru Nanak says that I am worthless, I am virtueless, I am ignorant, and what I can only do is contemplate on the Almighty. And he also requests the Almighty to take care of him. Jin kiya tis chiti rakh nanak nibhi naal. Jin kiya tis chiti rakh. Guru Nanak Maharaj advises us to keep the Almighty in heart, to keep the Almighty in contemplation, to keep the Almighty in mind, to ever remember Him. Jin kiya tis chiti rakh. Chiti refers to your heart, your chetna, your consciousness, your mind. Jin kiya, the one who has created you. Tis chiti rakh. Nanak nibhi naal. Nanak nibhi naal, nibhi meaning nibhana. The one who will always be there with you. So, jin kiya tis chiti rakh, nanak nibhi naal. Ashtapadi. Ramaiya ke gunchet parani, kavan mool te kavan drishtani. O mortal, always contemplate and always keep in mind the virtues of the Almighty. Kavan mool te kavan drishtani. Mool refers to the capital, the origin, the source. Kavan mool te kavan drishtani. Drishtani refers to the vision, the form, the eyes, the body. So, Guru Arjan Dev, the fifth Guru Nanak over here says, kindly remember the source from which you have come, the source which has given you this form, this eyes, this vision, this body, the body of a human being. Jintu saad sawar sikarya, garab agni mein jine ubarya. Contemplate Him, the cosmic force, which people have nomed as God, the one who has created, the one who has decorated you, the one who has adorned you. Jin tu saaj sawar. Saaj refers to sajana or adorning. Sigarya, that also refers to adorning. The one who has made you, created you. Saj, created you. Saj refers to creation, adornment. Please remember Him. Garab agni mein jine ubarya. The one who contemplated you, the one who conceived you in the womb. Garab refers to move. Agni, the internal part of the intestine is always hot as fire. Garab agni mein jine ubarya. The one who protected you, the one who nourished you in the fire of the womb. Bar vibasta tujhe pyare doodh, bhar joban bhojan sukhsod. And when you were a child, He fed you with milk from your mother's breast, or milk from the animal. Bhar joban bhojan sukhsod. And when you became bigger in age, elder in age, when you grew up, He also gave you food. He also gave you all the comfort. Bhar jo ban bhojan sukh sood. And He took care of you even in your youth. Bird baya upar saak sand. Mukh apyao baith ko den. And then Bird baya upar saak sand. And then in your old age, bird refers to old age. He gave you relatives, He gave you friends, saks and relatives, friends, so that you may be taken care of, you may be in their company. He gave you a wife, He gave you children. Mukh apyao baith ko den. And He also gave you relatives, your mother, your father, your elderly, who could give you food, who could support you. Please remember, whenever a person comes up in life, or even if he is a failure, in materiality terms, there are a lot of factors which go along. The relatives form a very big factor. The son, the mother, the father, the children. These are the factors which can pull a person or which can make a person rise. ये निर्गुण गुण कछु न सूझे, ये निर्गुण गुण कछु न बूझे, बख्श लेहु तो नानक सीजे. But the unworthy man, the ungrateful man, does not know these hidden games of the Almighty and how He supports the person by using various instrumentalities. Instrumentality of a mother, instrumentality of a brother, of a father, of parents, of relatives. He doesn't realize that it is the Almighty who has done this. Bakshu leo to nanak sije. The Lord is requested by Guru Nanak that he may forgive such beings, and such beings may acquire true fulfillment, true sense, and true contentment in admiration of the Almighty. जे प्रसाद दरूप सुख बसै, सुध ब्रात मीत बनीता संग हसै. By the grace of the Almighty, you have lived in this world and you have enjoyed your children, your brothers, your friends, and your wife. Sut refers to children, Brat refers to brother, Meet refers to friends, Banita refers to wife. Ji prasad pive sital jala, Sukhdayi pavan pavak omula. Today, a person enjoys the air conditioner, enjoys the fan, enjoys water to bathe from the geyser, enjoys cold water from the fridge, has various comforts with him, various amenities with him. In those days, Guru Nanak has referred to cold water from the Jharna, cool wind, a good spacious house. Those amenities have changed with modernity, with development. Guru Nanak Maharaj asks his devotees, he asks the Sikhs to thank God for all these things. Ji prasad bhoge sab rasa, sagal sang mangri sang sat basa. This is a further elucidation. Please thank God for all that He has given you, all the amenities, all the requirements, the wealth, the cars, and everything that He has given you. Deene hasat pav kar netrasna, tise tyag avar sangrachna. The Lord who has given you hand, who has given you feet, who has given you ears, who has given you eyes, who has given you tongue, who has given you all the parts of the body which you may use. Tise tyag avar sangrachna. Then why have you not appreciated all what God has given you? Today people keep on wanting. They want each and everything from the Almighty. They keep on cursing nature about those things which have not been given to them. They never think and they never thank about those things which have been given to them. ऐसे दोख मूड अंध व्यापे नानक काडु लेव प्रभ आपे. Such are the foolish things that people blinded by materiality are indulging into. Such evil things. And Guru Nanak Maharaj says, Nanak kaadu leo prabh ape. Kindly save them. Kindly remove these sins from them. And kindly remove them from the sins. Aad ant jo rakhan har, tisyu preet na kare kabhar. The one who would always be there with you, who was there with you, who shall be there with you, Aad sach jugad sach hai bhi sach nanikon se bhi sach. O ignorant man, O you ignoramus, foolish man, he doesn't appreciate the Almighty. The ignorant man doesn't love the Almighty for what the Almighty is continuously doing for him. Aad ant jo rakhan har, tisyu preet na kare gavar. Gavar is ignorant and unlearned man. Jaki seva nav nid pave, tasyu muda man nahi lave. The person who should be in continuous touch with God, from where he would get Navnid. Navnid refers to 9 treasures, the unfolded treasures. In Anand Sahib we have Anand Baya Meri Maaye Sadguru mein paya, Sadgurta paya Sahaj Seti Man Vajjan Vadhaiya. Raag Ratan Parvar Paryan Sabad Gavan Aiya. And then in the last part we have Anad Suno Vad Bhagyo Sagal Monorath Pure. Anad refers to the inner voice. All these hidden treasures, which in a way also shall lead to appropriate, I use the word appropriate, not unnecessary, superfluous and excessive, appropriate material pleasure also. The foolish man doesn't get attached to the name of God, wherein and from where he has to obtain, or he must obtain, or he shall obtain, or he ought to obtain all this happiness. Jo Thakur Sat Sada Hazure, Tako Anda Janat Dore. The person who must be experiencing God next to him is so blinded by materiality that he feels God is elsewhere. I would like to divert a little bit over here to a relevant point. Who is God? Has anybody seen God? God is something which is to be realized. God is infinite. Yes, He is powerful. He can take form. He can take the form of a devotee. He can take the form of a deity. He can take the form of anything. He can depict Himself in any place, anywhere, because He is all-pervading. Now, when one person closes the eyes, he sees nothing. He sees Shunya. Shunya refers to the infinite. Infinite, no end, or rather, realizing Him as a force within you. The force which is within you. And the force which you've realized, if the gap between the Jivatma and the Paramatma, which I explained in the earlier 10th octet, reduces, the Jivatma shall submerge into the Paramatma. And then one realizes God. And that realization has to come from within. The God is all pervading. Merely by going to the Gurudwara and by presuming the Guru Granth Sahib as an object, or by going to the temple, by presuming the idol as an object, or by going to a mosque, by merely doing sajda, by merely bowing your head and scrubbing your head on the floor, meaninglessly without understanding what you are doing, doesn't lead to attainment of God. It only leads to a certain amount of mental satisfaction. Oh yes, it may be necessary for becoming closer to God because the ambience is necessary. But that is not all. One has to realize Him. Shiva refers to the self, not to the body Shankar. That Shiva has to be realized, that Shiva is within you, that Shiva is all pervading, that Shiva is the one, the Paurish, which has given rise to the Prakriti. The man who is blinded by materiality doesn't realize this. Jaki tehel pave darge maan, tise bisare mugad ajan. By the service of whom one is to get honor, one is to get salvation, one who is to submerge into the Paramatma. The ignorant man, tise bisare mugad refers to an ignorant, foolish man. Murak, tise bisare mugad ajan. Ajan is again ignorant. सदा सदा ही बोलनहार नानक राखणहार अपार. The man blinded by materiality has a habit. It is endemic in the nature of a man to forget. And it is the Almighty's magnanimity that He is their Savior. रतन त्याग कौड़ी संग रचे, साच छोड़ झूठ संग मचे. Ratan chhad, the jewel, the treasure which is existing within you, or which is always there with you. Ratan chhad कौड़ी संग रचे. An oyster which is a jewel. A person is so foolish that he is behind the oyster shell, the outer part of the body, the clothes, the appearance, the materiality, and the internal jewel which is lying within him, just like there is a pearl in the oyster shell. The internal jewel which is lying within the Almighty, within this body, that is forgotten. Saaj chod jhoot sang mache. The real truth, which is the real jewel, the real Shiva, the real self, the real Vaheguru, the real God is forgotten. And a person is pleased with falsehood. Falsehood in the form of various karmakans. Though I am not saying that karmakand is not at all to be eradicated from society, it is a very effective means by which a person can become closer, but then that should become a means to an end and not an end in itself. And materiality, material gains, which are viewed by most of the people as a measure of success. Jo chhadna so asthir kar maane, jo hovan so dur par hanne. Jo chhadna so asthir kar maane. a thing which you are going to leave in this world. Your body also will be left in this world. It will go to the dust, either by being buried or by being burnt, depending on the religion that you follow, or by being eaten up by birds, as they do in Parsis, the Zoroastrians. Finally, the bird also goes back, dies, and is eaten up, goes back in dust. Jo chadna so astir karmane. So much of importance and attachment to the human body, so much of importance and attachment to clothes, so much of importance and attachment to material aspects, the car, the flat. Jo chadna so astir karmane. A thing which you have to leave. You have presumed it as if that is going to be everlasting. A very important story, a real story of Guru Nanak and his first body in the form of Guru Nanak himself. Guru Nanak once told his follower, his companion follower, Mardana, a Muslim Sikh, who was boycotted by fanatic Muslims on the pretext that he was following a Hindu guru, a Hindu master. Sikh refers to Sikhya. The Hindi word Shiksha is in the form of Sikhya in Punjabi. Sikh, learn. Shiksha, learning, education. And everyone is a Sikh. A Muslim is also a Sikh, a Hindu is also a Sikh, a Christian is also a Sikh, because it is a learning process. A person who obeys the learning commandment of the Almighty, that life is a learning process, is automatically a Sikh. So one day, Guru Nanak told Mardana, go to the market and take this 1 unit of currency and take this 1 unit of other currency and buy truth and buy falsehood. 1 paise ka sach liya, 1 paise ka jhoot liya. Mardana goes to the market. People call him mad. People also say that he is going along with a mad saint and he is also gone mad. How can one buy truth and one buy falsehood? However, there was one wise man in the market. His name was Mulchand Khatri. And he wrote 2 small pieces of paper and gave it to him and accepted those 2 currencies, 2 units of currencies, those 2 damdis. In those days it was known as damdis. And he said, death is truth and life is falsehood. What this means is very, very deep. The human body, the human materiality, all shall be left one day. And what shall go with you is all what you have done. So, jo chadna, so astir karamane. But we have attached so much importance that, we do everything for material gains. I'm not saying material gains are not proper. Material gains are not there. You may not be able to even learn all this. You bought this audio with some money. But don't attach so much importance that it becomes everything. Don't attach so much importance to materiality that it becomes everything. Jo shadna so astir karmane, jo hovan so dur parane. And those things which are inevitable, death. A person considers that with insignificance. And he presumes that he is going to live immortally. What will happen only is that his soul will travel eternally into various beings if he behaves in this manner. But these things are not kept in mind by people. छोड़ जाए तिसका श्रम करे संग सहाय तिस पर है. छोड़ जाए तिसका श्रम. Shram is parishram, hard work. A thing which he is going to leave is the thing which he is working so hard for. Sang sahai tis par hai. Sang sahai. Sang is the companion. Sahai, your helper. And he doesn't consider that Almighty is the helper and who shall be with him, and he considers him away from himself. Chandan lep utare dhoye, gardab peert basam sang hoye. The foolish man cleanses himself, his body, from the sandalwood paste, and like a donkey, like an ass, gardab, ass, likes to roll in the dust. When I was doing chartered accountancy, I was not clearing the exams. So one senior chartered accountant told me, you have a habit of writing too intellectual things which the examiner may not want to read. So please give him what he wants. If you give a horse dry fruits, he will not acknowledge the value of that dry fruit. But if you give him grass or you give him oats, he will eat it willingly. But please remember, he is an animal. He is a khachar, he is a donkey, he is a horse who doesn't have mental faculties like a human being, though he may be having feelings. So, Chandan lep udar dhoye, gardab peet basang sang hoye. Andhkoop mein patit bikral, nanak kadu leo prab deyal. A person has fallen deep into a dark well, deep into a situation which can be compared to a dark room, which doesn't seem to have any point of return until and unless you follow a true master. And the dark room, the dark well is of ignorance, is of being blinded by materiality. Nanak card leo prab dayal, and only with the benign grace of the Almighty, a person shall be extricated from this. करतूत पशु की मानस जात, लोक पचारा करे दिन रात. Though a person belongs to the human race, but his acts are like a beast. I specifically refer this to the amount of importance a person has given to lust, the amount of importance a person has given to money, the amount of importance a person has given to so-called societal status. Chief amongst them are two things: lust, the satiating of physical wants, and greed, doing anything for money. One also must see the amount of unnecessary food a person eats in a day. What you don't require also, you go on eating. The aspect of physical lust to the extent of the body attaining equilibrium is something different. But behaving like an animal, in fact, even animals won't behave in this manner. Running and doing things for money, doing totally wrong things for money, even when circumstances may give you a chance of changing yourself or changing the line which may require to do wrong things, even then a person doesn't change. I've seen it too in the mornings, because sometimes, while working late in the night, I come home a little late. Young lads driving the motorbike with such speed, drunk, howling. I wonder whether even animals would behave in this manner. Kartut pasu ki manas jaat. I do not understand what is so hurrying. In the train, when they catch trains, the amount of havoc people create, the amount of unnecessary speed people want in life is sometimes shocking. Each and every person wants to be ahead of the others. I've got 4 dogs who are my pets. These dogs are animals. In animals, that kind of a faculty of controlling the physical or the mental senses is not much. Now, when food is served, many a times the dogs run behind the food and try to grab the food from the other. The animals, they can be excused. But I've seen human beings behaving like animals day in and day out. In the court, when we mention a matter, mentioning a matter refers to bringing to the notice of the judge about a particular case which may be heard, or in which some orders are to be sought, or it has to be taken up over precedence over the other matters. While mentioning lawyers and educated people, my God, the amount of ruckus and havoc they create in hurrying up and bringing it to the notice of the court, as if the court was going to rise in the next few moments. Kartut pasu ki manas jaat, lok pachara kare din raat. Lok pachara, unnecessary false show. An unnecessary false show of clothes, an unnecessary false show of shoes, unnecessary false show of ornaments, unnecessary false show of vehicles, slandering others, talking bad about others. Day and night, all this goes on. Bahar bekh antar malmaya, chapas nahi kach kare chapaya. Now there is another section of people who act very noble, who act very polished. Oh, the looks that they give you, they are the most decent people on earth. And may the Almighty forgive me, there are some who have brought bad name to the name of God also, who behave as if they are prophets, who behave as if they are pegambars, who behave as if they are messiahs, who behave very, very learned in gurdwaras and mosques, in temples, in churches. But ultimately, nothing can be hidden from the Almighty. And one fine day, nowadays we find these things happening very frequently. The truth is exposed. Bahar bekh, antar mal maya, chapas nahi kach kare chapaya. Bahar gyan tyan isnan, antar vyape lop suan. This is a further elucidation which says that Outwardly, people take a bath and people look good or saintly, but their hidden desires, their hidden greed, their hidden lust is often depicted. It is like fire. बाहर बेक, बाहर ज्ञान त्यान स्नान, अंतर व्यापे लोभ स्वान. Swan refers to a dog. Like the greedy dog, like an animal, he nurtures the feeling of wants, desires, superfluous desires in him. अंतर अग्नि बार तन स्वा गल पाथर कैसे तरेगा था. This is a question Guru Nanak puts to the devotees, to the world, witness being the Almighty. When there is so much of fire within you, then how are you going to get salvation? Antar Agni Bar Tan Swaha. Internally you are at fire, and outwardly you apply ashes, you do sajdas, you wear caps, you wear turbans, you put vermilion on your forehead. How are you going to be relieved from your sins? And how shall you cross this limitless ocean of the gap by which the Almighty has separated you from Him? गल पाथर कैसे तरे अथा, जाके अंतर बसे प्रभ आप, नानक तेजन सहज समात. Those in whose hearts the Lord Almighty is residing, only those people shall reside and shall attain salvation and shall become one with Him. I repeat, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, when He gives the Virat Darshan, the unique view of all gods and goddesses within Him to Arjun. All are in me, but I am not in everybody. All are in me, I'm right. All are in me, but I am not in everybody. This means that in every person there is the capacity of attaining the Almighty. But unfortunately, I am not in everybody. All are in me. I am not in everybody. In the Aarti, Terasi Mera Pala, Sab mein hai jyoti jyot hai soe, tis de chanan sab mein chan hoye. In everybody there is a speck of divinity, but this divinity has to be kindled, it has to be rekindled, it has to be nurtured, so that the Lord lives in your heart, He lives in your mind. सुन अंधा कैसे मार्ग पावे, कर गईले उड़ी निभावे. Only by hearing will an ignorant blind man find the path? No. So the Lord Almighty has to have him take by the hand. Take him by the hand so that he may reach the destination. And that hand is the hand of the true learning, the true process of learning by a true master. Kar gaile udhi nibhave. The Lord takes him by the hand and makes him reach the destination. Kaha bujarti buje dhora, nis kaiye to samjhe bhora. How can A deaf man solve riddles, solve pahelis. कहा बुझारती बूझे डोरा, निष्कइये तो समझे बोरा. And if you point out to him that it is night, he may understand it to be a day. This actually refers to the state of a culprit, the state of a person who is affected by Maya, affected by materiality to such an extent that even when you try to teach him, he may not listen, he may not understand. If you try to show him something good, he will make something bad out of it. That is the state of a person who is very badly affected by materiality. This line is referred to that kind of a person. कहा बिसंपत गावे गुंग, जतन करे तो भी सुरभंग. A dumb man cannot sing songs. Even if he tries, his voice is untuned and his voice becomes shattered. कहा पिंगुल पर्वत पर भवन, नहीं होत वह उस गवन. A cripple, a lame man cannot climb mountains. And he cannot reach the peak. करतार करुणा में दीन बेनती करे, नानक तुमरी कृपा तरे. करतार, the Almighty, karuna में is the compassionate God. करतार कुमार ने दीन बेनती करे. I am a poor, humble devotee. Poor refers to helpless, not the materially poor, the helpless devotee. And I request you, Nanak tumri kripa tare, that you may shower your grace on such people so that they may develop understanding and may become good and may finally attain salvation. संग सहावे सो आवी न चीत, जो बहराई तासु प्रीत. The man is materially so embroiled, so involved, that he does not remember the Almighty, who is his true friend and helper. Jo bairai tasyo preet. In fact, he loves the enemy to good thought. He loves lust, he loves drinks, he loves all those aspects which are contrary to God's ways. Balwa ke gre bitr base, anand kel maya rang rase. He is like a person, such a kind of a person is like a person who is living in a house of sand, which will be broken at any time. It is fragile. Anand kel maya rang rase, and he is always indulged in acts of fragile materiality, which shall be shattered someday or the other. दृढ़ कड़ी माने मन प्रतीत, काल ना आवे मूढ़े चीत. As stated earlier, such a person thinks that he is immortal. He is going to live forever and he shall not die. बैर विरोध काम क्रोध मोह, जूड़ विकार महालोभ द्रोह. बैर विरोध काम क्रोध मोह, all the things which are contrary to the Almighty. बैर, enmity, विरोध, opposition, काम, lust, krodh, anger, moh, worldly attachment, jhoot, vikar, mahalobdro, falsehood, evil thoughts, mahalobdro, great greed, and deceit, thoughts of cheating. Yahu jugt byane kai janam, nanak rakh leo apan kar karam. And in such kind of things, many births have taken place. Guru Nanak, in the form of Guru Arjan Dev, says, praise to God to save such people by His grace. Tu Thakur tum pe ardas, jio pind sab teri ras. This is a very, very, very powerful line. This is usually said in most Gurudwaras before saying the request, the supplication, the ardas. Tu Thakur tum pe ardas. Ardas is a supplication. This word is actually a derivation of the Urdu word arz. Ardas. You're requesting God to give him something, to bless. You're requesting God to bless yourself. You're requesting God so that God may give you blessing. Ardas is a supplication. Tu Thakur tum pe ardas. O Lord, you are the only master. And I supplicate to you. Jio pind sab teri ras. My soul and body are your property. Ras refers to property. Ras refers to property. Tum maat pita hum barik tere. You are my father, you are my mother. I am your child. Tumri kripa mein sukh ganere. And owing to your blessing, I am in comfort. I have enjoyed comforts. I am still enjoying comforts. Koi न जाने तुम्हारा अंत, ऊंचे ते ऊंचा भगवंत. None knows your extent. None knows you because you are infinite. सोचे सोच न होवे जै सोची लख बार. One cannot even gauge you by the countless thoughts that one may give on you. कोई न जाने तुम्हारा अंत, ऊंचे ते ऊंचा भगवंत. Even the biggest demigod may not be able to analyze you. You are beyond imagination. सगल समग्री तुमरे सूत्रधारी, तुमते होयसु आज्ञाकारी. The entire existence, the entire creation is being run, is being sung, is being played upon your string, upon your beckoning, upon your strings that you are playing on this entire instrument of creation. तुम ते होए सो आज्ञाकारी. And all the creatures created by you, all the aspects of nature are all working under your commandment. Hukum rajai chalna naal ki kya naal. In Japji Sahib also there is a an initial indication of these words, that all are within the hukam, within the ordinance of the Almighty. Tumri gat mit tum hi jani. Only you know about what you are doing and what is there in your mind. Nanak das sada qurbani. Guru Nanak, in the form of Guru Arjan Dev, says that Nanak, or the true devotees, are all the servants of God and they are all a sacrifice unto Him. With that we complete the fourth Ashtapadi after the fourth Slok.